more on that, we're joined by Brigadier General in Reserves, Amir Avivi, the Director of Israel's Defense and Security Forum. Thank you very much for being with us today. So who's right, the prison service or the Shin Bet?
I think that definitely the prison service. I think that this is an unprecedented intervention in the work, the way we work in the prisons. When you move the terrorists from one prison to another, it's always connected to intelligence about what they are planning, about the connections they have. And this is a part of the job, to make sure that prisoners not only don't escape, but also don't plot and don't do other activities. And I think that we need to let them do the job they know how to do. I don't remember such an intervention in the past. As for Gaza,
but let's first try and understand why this is not the right timing, according to the Shin Bet. They are basing it on something, and they're getting support from other security agencies here in Israel. So why could this not be the right timing to do such mobilization within the prisons?
Well, it could be that we have intelligence about Hamas after a very long period of time maintaining Gaza quiet, wanting to maybe warm up things, maybe start escalating again the Gaza Strip. But we have to remember something. When the Hamas strategically decides it wants to engage in rocket shooting, they will always find the excuse to do that. Doesn't matter if it's the prisoners, if it's Har Bayit, if it's the Temple Mount, if it's a parade with Israeli flags, or it's one terrorist killed in Judea and Samaria.
But the thing is, the prison service does not collect intelligence. But the prison service does not collect intelligence, and intelligence collecting units that are operating on the ground and, of course, in headquarters are saying this is not the right time. So maybe it's not such a big deal. Maybe we should listen to them, and there are probably other ways to make sure in the meantime that those plots, that prisoners don't escape. I mean, we were revealed, of course, that there were underground tunnels, that construction was not done well, etc. There's enough to do, don't you think?
Well, I think we need to decide who is running our prisons, the terrorists or us. And I think that overall, this kind of decision-making hurts Israel's deterrence in the long term, because they see at the end of the day that they can extort us. They can put pressure and make Israel back down in the most basic things. I don't know anywhere in the world where anybody lets terrorists decide what will happen inside prisons. And I don't think we should start now. And I think that we need to think about a different approach, how to deter Hamas in Gaza. I can think about many other ways to make sure that Hamas is deterred than giving up to terrorists inside Israeli prisons.
Okay, I think your point is very clear. I do want to use the opportunity that you're with us to ask you what you make of the changes to the authority of the minister over the police that Ben Gvir was pushing towards and the Knesset just passed.
Well, first of all, I think that generally speaking, we would like to see our politicians wanting to actually do something and get more responsibilities in order to be able to push policies. So I don't think it as a bad thing when a politician promises to his voters that he's going to push a certain policy and tries to make sure that he has all the tools he needs to really push the policy forward. I think that in the case of Ben Gvir, I think he's a phenomena that exists due to the fact that the main leadership of Israel, including former generals who are politicians today, simply didn't take care of the most pressing issue Israelis are experiencing, a part of economics, and it's their personal security. And it was really surprising to me to see in the elections that at the end of the day, most of the parties remained with the discourse of Bibi or not Bibi, and really didn't deal seriously with what the public is worried about, their personal security all over Israel, in the Negev, in the Galil, in Jerusalem, in the big cities, in Judea and Samaria. And the only party that was really, really talking about that and pushing forward some kind of a solution was Ben's party, and I think
I agree, and I would also argue, if I would push your argument even further, but in a different direction, if I may, that not only did the personal security matter was not addressed properly, but also the reason why the personal security is violated across Israel, which is the situation between Israel and the Palestinians. You know, whether you call it occupation or whether you call it the status quo, there is no negotiation, and hence the Palestinians will forever continue to try and revolt and try and fight for their cause. So I think all of these issues are not addressed.
That when we talk about Bedouins in the Negev and what is going on in the Galil or in Lod or in Acre, this doesn't necessarily have a direct connection to what the Palestinians or the Palestinian Authority. When you see phenomena as economical crimes, extortion, the amount of weapons that are amassed inside Israeli Arab cities, crime, all of that, this is actually, you know, the kind of problems you see also in Europe and even in cities in the US. And you can see the US is a good example. You see one state where the police is strong and law and order are restored, and you see another state in anarchy, and it's the same United States. So I think that I wouldn't connect everything to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I think that this is an internal issue, first of all, in the way governments for decades, all of them, by the way, didn't deal properly with law and order inside Israel.
Okay, let's hope that an internal security minister that waves his gun in East Jerusalem near Nablus Gate will do it better. What can I say? We'll have to wait and see, right? Both of us.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, you know, the government is not even yet, didn't start yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's really our responsibility, all of us. Whether it's my organization, whether it's the media, is really, at the end of the day, judge things according to what the government will actually do. Yeah. And we will look at it, and we'll try, as IDSF, we'll try to make sure that not only the right policies are pursued, but they are done professionally and in the right way. It's not only about good intentions. You also need to be good enough to know how to do it.
Brigadier General in Reserves, Amir Avivi, thank you very much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.